At family dinner, I found out about my sister's luxury vacation while I was helping her, so I said enough. How dare you say no? My dad said. I went and cancelled all payments, and then I had been helping my sister, Emily, financially for 2 years. She made it sound like her life was barely holding together. She had 2 kids, a deadbeat ex-husband who couldn't get a job, and bills that kept piling up. I sent her money every month, thinking I was helping to keep her and my nieces afloat. She always sounded desperate, like she was one bad month away from disaster. And I believed her. I had no reason to question her until my mother's birthday dinner. The whole family was gathered at my parents' house. A rare occasion when everyone was actually in one place. The conversation was normal at first: work, the kids, some gossip about a distant cousin. Then Emily, sitting across from me, started talking about Hawaii. At first I thought she was joking. Or maybe she was talking about a vacation she wanted to take. But no. She had been there. The resort was unreal, she said, cutting her steak like it was just another Tuesday. Private beach, all-inclusive, and the spa? Oh my God, I've never felt more relaxed in my life. I just sat there, listening, waiting for the part where she explained how the hell this happened. Then she laughed. And the best part? The kids stayed with Mom and Dad the whole time. I actually got to enjoy myself for once. The air in the room shifted. I wasn't the only one to notice. I leaned forward. Wait. You went to Hawaii? She gave me a look. Yeah? With what money? She blinked, as if she didn't understand the question. Then, with a casual shrug, she said, Well, yours. Silence. I felt my jaw clench. My mother shifted uncomfortably. My father took another bite of his food, pretending not to hear. I could hardly believe what I was hearing. You used the money I sent you, money that was supposed to be for the kids to go on vacation? Emily rolled her eyes. Relax. The kids are fine. They had fun with Mom and Dad. I glanced at my nieces. They were playing quietly in the corner, wearing the same tattered clothes I'd seen them in the last time. Clothes I assumed their mother couldn't afford to replace. Meanwhile, she was sipping cocktails on a beach. I kept my voice steady. I gave you the money because you said you were struggling. I was. She took a sip of wine. Struggling emotionally. I needed a break, Tom. I deserved to be happy too. I almost laughed. So instead of buying new clothes for your kids or paying off bills, you decided a luxury vacation was more important? She waved her hand. You don't get it. I had to get out there, meet someone. I can't be a struggling single mom forever, you know? That's how I met Jacob. Who the hell is Jacob? She smiled like she had just won the lottery. Oh my God, Tom. He's amazing. He owns a business, drives a Tesla. One of our cousins muttered. So you used Tom's money to find a rich boyfriend? Emily ignored her. He's successful, mature, everything I've been looking for. I clenched my fists under the table. Unbelievable. She sighed. Don't be dramatic. That was it. That was the moment I snapped. That's enough. You're not getting another dime from me. She froze. Then, before she could respond, my father slammed his hand down on the table. How dare you say no to your own sister? I turned to him, stunned. Are you serious? She's trying to rebuild her life. My mother added. Trying to find a good man. And you want to punish her for it? I laughed. By lying to me? By using my money for vacations while her children wear second-hand clothes? She's your sister, my father said, as if that was the only argument that mattered. I shook my head. Yes. And I'm your son. But that didn't stop you from letting her take advantage of me. Emily crossed her arms. Fine, I won't do it again. Happy? No. I'm done, I said, getting up. And when I reached the door, I turned around. Oh, and I'm also going to cancel the payments on your car loan. As soon as the words left my mouth, the room erupted. My parents jumped up and begged me not to do it. My mom was practically hysterical, swearing she wouldn't survive without the car. My father's face turned red as he muttered curses under his breath. Emily's expression changed from shock to pure rage. But I didn't care. I walked out. And this? That was just the beginning. I walked out of my parents' house with them yelling after me, but I didn't care. My hands were shaking with rage as I got into my car and drove home. My mind was racing the whole way. 2 years. 2 years of cutting back on my own life so that Emily and her kids wouldn't have to struggle. And all the while she had been lying. Using my money for vacations, for some fantasy of finding a rich guy, while her kids wore worn-out clothes. As soon as I got home, I opened my banking app and started cutting her off. First, I canceled the automatic transfers for Emily's rent and utilities. Then I pulled up my parents' car loan, the one I'd been paying for almost a year because they swore they couldn't afford it, and canceled that, too. It felt good. Like taking back control. Then my phone started to explode. The first text was from Emily. Emily. What the hell, Tom? My rent just bounced. Fix it. I ignored it. Then my mom called. I sent her to voicemail. My dad called right after that. Then Emily again. Then my mom. Again. And then the guilt trip began. Mom, I hope you're happy. If I end up in the hospital from stress, it'll be your fault. I sat there staring at the message, my jaw clenched. They didn't even try to apologize. No acknowledgement of what they had done, just straight to making me feel like the villain. Emily texted again. Emily, you're seriously doing this? You're just going to let me and my kids end up homeless? You're unbelievable. I took a deep breath before replying. Me. You lied to me. For 2 years. You said you were struggling, but you used my money for vacations. I helped because I thought you needed it. You don't. You're on your own now. The reaction was immediate. Emily. Wow. You're such a selfish bastard. Do you have any idea how hard it is to be a single mom? I needed this trip. I was trying to find a good man so I wouldn't have to struggle forever. But you wouldn't understand because you don't care about family. I could feel my blood pressure rising. Me. Your kids are wearing hand-me-downs while you sip cocktails at a 5-star resort. You're not looking for a good man, you're looking for a sugar daddy. And you expected me to pay for it. No answer. Then my father called again. This time I picked up. Are you out of your mind? He snapped the second I answered. I sighed. What do you want, Dad? I want to know why the hell you canceled the car payments. We were counting on you for that. I almost laughed. You counted on me? This was supposed to be a temporary thing while you got back on your feet. It's been a year. You can't just take that away. I can. And I did. That's unforgivable, he said. You're punishing your own family over a stupid misunderstanding. I gritted my teeth. A misunderstanding? She cheated me for 2 years. It's called helping your sister, Tom. Something you obviously don't understand. I hung up. I thought that was the end of it. But the next morning I realized it was just the beginning. I woke up to 17 missed calls. Emily. Mom. Dad. Even a couple of texts from my aunt asking what the hell was going on. I sighed, already dreading the day. I knew they wouldn't just let this go, but I didn't expect them to escalate things this quickly. Then came the knocking. Loud. Rapid. Angry. I already knew who it was before I even checked the peephole. I swung the door open to find my mom and Emily standing there, arms crossed, both looking like they were ready to tear me apart. We need to talk, my mom said, pushing past me into the house. Emily followed, slamming the door behind her. What the hell is wrong with you, Tom? I crossed my arms. Good morning to you too. Mom ignored that. You're going to fix this. Now. I let out a short laugh. Fix what? The fact that I stopped letting you guys use me as a bank? Emily threw her hands up. You're being insane. I have bills to pay, Tom. My kids need a home. You can't just cut me off like that. I leaned against the counter. You mean the same kids you ditched at Mom and Dad's so you could run off to Hawaii? She clenched her jaw. It was one trip. Paid for with MY money. Mom stepped in. Listen, I understand you're upset. But you're taking this too far. You can't just abandon your family like this. I stared at her. Abandon? I gave Emily thousands of dollars over the last 2 years. I paid for your car. I helped every time you asked. And what did I get in return? Lied to. Taken advantage of. Emily groaned. You're being so dramatic. You're my brother. You're supposed to help me. I shook my head. Not like this. Mom's expression darkened. If you don't help her, what do you expect her to do? End up on the street? And us too? That's what you want. I exhaled sharply. You guys are not my responsibility. Emily had plenty of money, my money, but she spent it on herself. That's on her. Emily's voice dropped. I swear, Tom, if you don't fix this, I'll... I cut her off. You'll what? Go on another vacation? Buy a new designer bag? Cry to Mom and Dad some more? Her face turned red with anger. You don't understand, Tom. You have no idea what it's like to be a single mom. And you have no idea what it's like to be used by your own family. I shot back. Mom grabbed my arm, her voice suddenly softer. Please, Tom. If you stop helping, I don't know what will happen to me. My health is already bad. If I end up in the hospital over this. I pulled away. Don't do that. Don't ever use that against me. Emily let out a sharp breath. Fine. Be selfish. But you're making a huge mistake. I opened the door. Get out. They both glared at me, but after a long pause they left. I locked the door behind them. I thought Jacob showing up at my door was the worst of it. I was wrong. That night, around 10 p.m., there was another knock. I checked the peephole, expecting maybe Jacob again, or Emily finally working up the nerve to confront me in person. It was my mom. I hesitated. Letting her in meant another exhausting conversation where she'd guilt-trip me, cry, and tell me how I was destroying the family. But if I didn't answer, she'd probably just stand there all night, calling me until I caved. I opened the door. Mom! She pushed past me into the apartment. We need to talk. I sighed, shutting the door. If this is about Emily, it's about me, Tom. Something in her voice made me turn around fast. She was holding a bottle of pills. I felt my stomach drop. What are you doing? She gave me this broken look. I can't take this. The stress. The shame. My own son turning his back on his family? Do you know what this is doing to me? She twisted the cap off the bottle. My heart pounded. Mom, stop. Tears welled up in her eyes. Maybe if I weren't around, you'd feel bad for what you've done. Before she could do anything, I grabbed the bottle out of her hands. I looked at the label. Sleep aids? Over the counter. Not even prescription strength. She wasn't actually going to do anything. She was performing. I exhaled sharply. You really came all the way here to fake a suicide attempt just to manipulate me? She sniffled. I wouldn't have to if you weren't being so cruel. I clenched my jaw, fighting the urge to lose it. This is insane. You're trying to emotionally blackmail me into giving Emily money? She wiped her tears away, and her face hardened instantly. It's not just about Emily. You cut us off too. You left your own parents to struggle. I shook my head. You're struggling because you expected me to keep bailing you out forever. That's not my problem. She gripped my arm, her nails digging into my skin. Undo this. Right now. I pried her fingers off me and opened the door. Go home, Mom. She stared at me, her lips pressed together. Then, in a whisper, she said, Fine. But if I end up in the hospital, you'll have to live with it. I said nothing. She walked out. I locked the door behind her, my whole body tense. Then my phone vibrated. Emily. Wow. She just left your place. You really wouldn't even help our mother? Emily. What kind of son are you? Dad. I always knew you were selfish, but this? You're dead to me. I turned my phone off. I told myself it was over. But the real nightmare started the next morning. I woke up to an email from my boss. Subject: urgent, HR complaint. I opened it, my stomach twisting. An anonymous complaint had been filed against me. Someone claimed I had been stealing company funds and misusing corporate resources. It was serious enough that HR wanted a meeting. I sat there staring at the screen, my heart pounding. I knew who was behind this. Emily. Or worse, Emily and my parents. This wasn't just family drama anymore. They were trying to destroy my life. I sat there staring at the email from HR, my stomach in knots. Emily or my parents, or both, had actually tried to ruin my job. They had crossed a line I couldn't ignore. I took a deep breath and called my boss directly. Hey, I just got your email. Can I come in and clear this up now? Yeah, he said. I'll be honest, I was surprised to get this complaint. It didn't seem like you. I knew then that I was safe. If my boss had doubts about the allegations, it meant that Emily's plan was already falling apart. When I got to the office, I sat down with HR and calmly walked them through everything. I showed them my financial records that proved I hadn't misused company funds. I even told them the truth that I had family members who were upset with me for cutting them off financially. By the time I left the meeting, the complaint had been dismissed. But I wasn't done. I went straight to my parents' house. I wasn't going to wait for another attack, I was going to end this now. When I walked in, my dad was sitting on the couch watching TV as if nothing had happened. Emily was there too, scrolling through her phone. My mom came out of the kitchen, her expression changing when she saw me. Tom, she said carefully, you should have called before you came over. I ignored her and looked directly at Emily. You tried to get me fired? She didn't even flinch. I don't know what you're talking about. I pulled out my phone, opened the email from HR, and held it up. You really think I wouldn't find out? She scoffed. You can't prove it was me. I turned to my parents. And you too? Did you let this happen? My dad waved his hand. Oh, don't be so dramatic. If you had just kept helping your sister, none of this would have happened. I clenched my fists. Let me make this very clear. If any of you contact me again, if you so much as breathe in my direction, I will go to the police. Emily rolled her eyes. For what? For harassment. For making false accusations against me. For sending Jacob to my door to threaten me. My mother's face paled. Now, Tom, let's not take this too far. I cut her off. Too far? You're the one who escalated this. I have screenshots of texts, call logs, everything I need to prove what you've been doing. If you don't leave me alone, I'm going to press charges. Silence. My dad's jaw tightened, and Emily's smug expression finally faded. My mom looked like she was about to cry again, but for once she held her tongue. I turned to leave. I mean it. Stay away from me. Then I walked out. It was quiet for a few days. No texts. No calls. I almost started to think they had finally given up. Then my cousin Jake called me. Dude, he said, I just heard from Aunt Linda that you got fired for stealing from your job. What the hell is going on? My stomach dropped. I didn't get fired. Who told you that? She said your mother told her. And that you had mental problems and were pushing the family away. I exhaled sharply. Of course. If they couldn't manipulate me, they'd try to ruin my reputation. Over the next 2 days, relatives kept contacting me. My uncle said he had heard I was gambling. My grandmother called to say she was praying for me because my parents had told her I was having a breakdown. I was done. I sent out a big message on the family group chat. I'm hearing a lot of lies about me, so I want to set the record straight. I cut off financial support to my parents and Emily because they were using me. They retaliated by spreading false rumors and even tried to get me fired. Nothing they're saying is true. If anyone has any questions, please ask me directly. Then I started getting phone calls. This time, not to yell at me, but to support me. My aunt, my uncle, some cousins, they were all furious when they realized what had really happened. One by one, they told me that they believed me. That they were disgusted by what my parents and Emily had done. Then my uncle told my father directly, "Leave Tom alone. If you keep this up, you're going to lose the rest of the family." And just like that, it was over. The calls stopped. The messages stopped. My parents and Emily finally backed off, not because they wanted to, but because they had lost. And me? For the first time in years, I felt free. Even after my family finally backed off, I couldn't shake the feeling that they would try something else. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but eventually. People like them didn't change. They were just waiting for their next chance. And I wasn't going to give them one. I made my decision that night. I was done with them forever. The next morning, I started looking at jobs in another state. I'd always thought about leaving, but something had always kept me here, probably that stupid sense of obligation to my family. But now, there was nothing holding me back. Within 2 weeks, I had a job lined up in another city. A better salary, a fresh start, and most importantly, a place where they couldn't reach me. I didn't tell anyone. I quietly packed my things, sold what I didn't need, and sat in my empty apartment the night before the move, realizing how much of my life I had wasted on them. For 2 years, I had put Emily's needs ahead of my own. I had skipped vacations, worked overtime, tightened my own budget all so she could lie to me and live better than I did. And my parents? They were never on my side. No matter how much I gave, it was never enough. Because in their eyes, I wasn't family, I was a resource. A walking ATM. I was a complete idiot. But not anymore. I changed my number. Blocked it on everything. Deleted old messages, old emails, anything that connected me to them. And then I got in my car and drove away. No goodbyes. No explanations. Just a clean break. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I was truly living for myself.